Welcome to Between the Sheets, where I invite some friends into bed with me and we talk about some queer issues that are currently hot topics in our queer community. In bed tonight, I've got Stephen, Davey and Jesse. So guys, the issue we're going to be talking about is, what's in a label? No fats, no fem, no Asians, or masc for masc. What's the big deal?
I think people seem to forget that they don't have to be a jackass all the time. You see it all the time where people are putting on Grindr, on Scruff, on whatever app you got, saying no fats, no fems, no Asians, masc for masc. And look, everyone's allowed to have their own preference. That's allowed. Just the fact that if I'm contacting you and the first thing you say to me is your body really average? Why would you contact me when I look like this?
Have you gotten that?
I've straight up. 100%. I've had people send me shirtless photos of themselves and saying, I look like this, why do you think you can compete with me?
What the hell?
Yeah.
People are awful.
People are absolutely
People are awful.
horrendous. I've got friends who are, slightly effeminate. And they've had dudes literally meet them and go, no, never mind, I'd leave.
I mean, don't you think it's become a little crazy that these words and phrases have become a part of, it's like they're on T-shirts now, they're things that people say and they've just become a little bit of the queer cliche?
I feel like it's things that people have said for ever. Humans are, I feel like innately, we go for one specific thing, more or less. But I find it a problem now that we have this huge social media and everyone's connected to everything, you're able to see this stuff more. Because if you think back to dating in the old days, you wouldn't remember when that was. Pre-internet.
Yeah.
Pre-manhunt.
I remember actually ringing up a phone line and having, you've got these little descriptions of like 40 typed letters to be able to figure out what a person's like. So you didn't have room for no fats, no fem, no Asians. But now we've got that kind of room. Like personally, when I'm looking at whether it's profiles or if someone's wearing a T-shirt like that, to me that speaks to something greater. And I just choose not to interact with them. It's my easier way to do it. But I do think it's terrible that we have people using terms like this as a way to celebrate who they are, when really what they're doing is putting another person down. And it's a stereotype.
I think what's most important is to fight back against those things. So if I see someone walking down the street with like no fems on their top, I just get my denim shorts out and wear them with pride, and wear your body with pride, wear your ethnicity with pride, because the only thing that can beat down hatred and that sort of judgmental stuff is by loving yourself and loving your community.
I couldn't agree more. I do think I do the same thing, where the best way to combat all this kind of stuff is to celebrate who you are. And the beauty of it is that you don't even do it in spite of what they're doing. That's who you are, and you celebrate it, and you celebrate your queerness. But it's still terrible that people use these terms as a way to think that you're something less to them, because you are a different size, a different nationality, a different expression. And it's so interesting that when we come from where we come from, we all come through this struggle to come out, and then you come out and someone puts you down for being effeminate. That's just ridiculous, but it's the world in which we live in.
It's so, I assume you're a type A personality and a go-getter, and to hear people say, oh, I think you should combat that. In a magical world, I would love to do that, but I'm more of an insecure, timid person when it comes to things like that. And when people tell me those things on the app, instead of being like, well, F you, this is who I am, I take it offensively and it does hurt me. And I could say all day like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm a nerd, a gay nerd, whatever. At the end of the day, in my thoughts is, maybe if I was this way, I wouldn't be single.
Oh, wow. This just got
Sorry,
really
tough love.
Wow.
I tend to find myself, I think I'm the same with you, as whenever somebody's profile says straight acting, which is always a big thing, and that always gets under my skin. And if they've contacted me, my first response is always, do you suck dick?
Yeah, there's nothing straight about sucking
because there's nothing straight there.
The thing with it all as well, as my opinion of it, is the minute that I see straight acting, I think, well, you're not. Because you have to put that kind of energy and effort into a label. And the simple fact that you're doing that at that point, and you're using that as a way to express yourself, puts you in a category for me, which doesn't mean you're a certain type of person, but it just means you're making choices to express yourself a certain type of way. And it's not something I prescribe to. It's not something I'm a part of. But I do think it's a problem that's become a part of this quick flash dating that we live in. If you were in a bar and someone who came up to you that wasn't your type, you wouldn't just shut them down. You'd find a polite way to do it. You'd find a way to communicate it to them. And now everyone looks at the apps and the short-term functioning of communicating as a way to just be cruel. And you don't know when you write something how another person's going to take it, which is why using terms, like I think at the height of ridiculousness is when someone does say no fats, no femmes, no Asians, or really just, I've seen a lot of it, no Asians, sorry, not sorry, or just sorry about it, but it's just a type. And that's like turning around and saying, I'm not racist, but, and then saying a slew of racist things. It's just this entire way that ultimately you're being offensive because of the way you choose to communicate what you're saying and how you're saying it. It's not that it's your preference, it's that you chose to put that in a reference that projects negativity to the world. And my way of combating it is to go, that's the kind of person that you are, and that's the kind of box that you're going to be in, because that's the choices that you're making. Luckily, we are a part of a vibrant, wonderful, celebratory community. It's just a shame that there are certain aspects of that that seem to be quite loud or vocal or picked up by popular culture and drag other things down.
Well, that last point is totally true. Like, it just reflects the racism we have in society. It reflects the issues we have with our masculinity that we see broadly across society. It's just magnified, and we can see it on these profiles. I think, and I know it, like being my personality, I can sort of brush these things off, but I think we all need to know, like, that they don't matter, their opinions don't matter. All that matters is yourself and how you express yourself, and you just have to try your best to be happy, I guess.
It is the most important thing, and we can forget that sometimes, that who we are on the inside is what matters at the end of the day. Who you want to be and who you work towards to be is the very most important thing. Thanks for joining me here in bed, guys. It's been a pleasure. Been between the sheets, and I hope that you're joining me in bed next time.